Welcome back.
Most memorable year night.
Woo! Literally sobbing.
Tears, so many tears. I needed like a brand new box of tissues.
I literally, we'll talk more of pretty much why, but I would say most memorable night. Usually I cry anyways, but there was a specific reason. I think most of us were all in tears.
Yeah, so I thought it was shocking that we did not start with any pro dance number, and obviously we see why mid-show here. But that was a little shocking. I was kind of like, okay, I wonder what they're gonna do, and then they didn't do anything, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And now we see why.
Yeah.
So,
So because of that, we started right in on the show and we started with Mira and Gleb and they had contemporary.
I love that she brought her daughter into this and got to do a dance with her daughter.
The one thing though is I loved that moment. It was special. The thing that I think was hard is I do think that her daughter did outdance her a little bit. Because my eye just went to her daughter. She was a very talented dancer.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. But yeah, I don't think that that helped her in any way in her scores because I think then she was a little more nervous knowing that her
Mhm.
daughter is so good. Um, yeah, yeah,
It was a nice dance. It wasn't like it was very technical. It was more to me, it was more lyrical than contemporary to me.
yeah.
But I think it was because they were trying to do more of a ballet because of her daughter in that sense, and that's what Mira came from, and that's where she's more confident. Um, and the technique was pretty strong across the board. The toes and like her turns were pretty solid too. Um, but it to me it wasn't anything that's like that was
Blow you out of the water.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I agree.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like wow.
Right. I
So
totally agree. Totally agree.
yeah.
Do I think she should have gone home? No.
No, no.
No.
We both are in agreement of who we think should go home, and we will get there.
Yeah. So,
It,
yeah.
it's not
Agree.
fair to her. There should have been other people before her.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. But that's how it goes. So, the remaining couples are all the ones we're going to talk about from here on out.
Are safe.
Finish out the rest of our safe. So,
Yep.
moving on to Ariana and Pasha, who had a Viennese waltz.
Yeah. Um, it was nice. Like it was really pretty. I'm trying to remember what I texted you about it.
It was very strong. I felt like there was so much spinning that then when she would come
That's
out of
what
the
it
spin,
was.
she was wobbly.
Yes, that's what it was. Because I remember I texted you. She relied on Pasha,
Yes,
and
in
that's
order to
where
just go.
on the spin because I texted you. I was like, she was leaning on him like a lot, like for support.
Yes,
Um, and on that spin, and that's where the wobble happened.
you
So
got it.
otherwise, it was really good.
So anytime you are doing excessive spinning, it's really then when you know your body's going to be coming out of it, engaging those calves and that core to
Mhm.
help stop yourself, to stop that momentum from happening, which is really hard to do. But yeah, yeah. So, I mean, otherwise, it was very strong. It was beautiful.
Her, I do remember the look at the end when she gave that like look of like I was like that look was epic.
Got a lot of spice going into her now, and I'm so glad to see it because she's really been through a lot, and
Yeah,
it's nice to see that fire kind of coming back.
it's that personality coming out of her, and I love it.
Definitely.
From there, we had another contemporary with Charity and Artem.
Yes.
Can I just say, Artem, incredible.
Yep.
Guys, if you have not watched, this was like one of the numbers from this night that you need
Dan
to
said
see.
that every Dancing with the Stars season there is like one or two really standout routines that everybody remembers, that sticks with everybody, that you just recall from the season. This is it right here. There has been nothing like it. It's truly amazing.
The
Amazing.
thing that I love as a choreographer and just with dancing is that it was different. And like I talk a lot, probably more about choreography aspect than I do sometimes the contestants. But to me, that was just so memorable. Like I personally thought that dance should have gotten 3 10s. And I know you did too, because we were texting each other. And I said the only reason I can see maybe like no one's going to be perfect on this show, guys. They're all learning dance. So, yes, if you look at it technically, like somebody, I guarantee you will say, oh, she didn't point her foot long enough when she did this, or
Well, in particular, when she was up on the top, right? But
right,
at the same time, she's trying to
specifically.
stay balanced. She's trying to do things.
Yes.
You're right. You have to kind of slightly look past that a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I wish it was a little more pointed toes when we were up top,
Exactly.
but
But like
beside that.
to me, you're looking at where they're at and what their level 10 is. And it was amazing. And I think the only truly, I wonder if the only reason they didn't get 3 10s here is maybe it might have been still a little too early for a total perfect score with the producers. So, because when you
I
go,
feel like we usually see the first either like Halloween night or one the week after.
yeah,
I feel like is where those tens really start showing.
if you haven't ever been to the show, the thing that's interesting is when I say been to the show, like when they film in commercial breaks, each time the producers will come and talk to the judges or talk to the hosts and they talk to them about kind of like what to expect, different things. So, yes, it's a reality show, but there is some guidance in the reality show.
Yeah,
So, that's my 2 cents on that one.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're gonna watch one dance, there's really two from this night that you have to watch. That's definitely one of them. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Um, Allison and Sasha with another Viennese waltz.
Yes, I think, and I text you this too. I think this is Allison's style.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. She's definitely got some room still to go. Still needs to continue to work hard. But wow, 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 wow.
I will say, is she the best dancer? Absolutely not. But I think she will be the first one to tell you. But the amount of joy that she has just makes me smile and it's contagious. Um, but she did a really nice job for her. Was her frame perfect? No. Is her spot and core perfect? No. But she tells a story and she holds that character and you could tell just she was beaming because she was talking about her husband. And if any of you are a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan like I am, with Wes and Willow, made my heart happy.
But yeah, it does. This week brings out a lot of that emotion and it makes the emotion real. And I think that does alter the entire dance experience from here on out. So
Yep.
beautiful. It was so good.
Then we had Harry and Riley
Harry and
again
Riley,
with a
a
contemporary.
contemporary. I mean, but we're coming a little bit more. Every week we kind of do a teeny tiny, the size of my dog's paw forward, like little teeny tiny stuff.
The costumes are nice.
I know, Riley. Just,
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
His lifts are pretty solid. Like you can
Yeah, and
that
she's really getting, I mean, just getting
Riley
technical on him.
is comfortable with his lifts and he
Yes.
is very like safe, like she feels safe and he does a nice job with that.
Yes.
When it comes to dancing,
Not quite.
he's on borrowed time and
Yeah.
this is who we thought should have gone home this week. I'm sorry. I do this is where I wish we had the judges save back in the mix. Now, it does not say they're necessary, like they always say, not necessarily in the bottom two. So we don't know if it's, or bottom three, sorry, because they have
Right, bottom three.
couples.
Yes.
So we don't know if it's like the bottom two that are in there and then like a random couple or whatever. Like we don't know, but
Deep breaths. All right, moving on.
yep.
Moving on. That's about it. Moving on. All right, let's go to Jason and Daniela. We had a quick step, which was totally different, routine wise and style wise for the night. It was mostly contemporary and waltzes, so it was really kind of cool to get a quick step in here. What do you think?
I love the dance. Again, he is so good. My only complaint is, and this is where Len would have, I think, been a little bit harder, is there are rules with Dancing with the Stars. With the certain ballroom styles, you cannot break hold. So what it is like you might not have hold at the beginning, and then through the entire dance, you are supposed to be in hold until you end it. And you might do like one or two things at the end, and then your dance is finished. They broke hold multiple times. So that is, and like that's me being very technical, but are we following the rules? Are we not? Is that rule changed that they haven't told us? So this is me being very technical on Jason, and that's hard for me to do because I love him and has an amazing dance that Daniela choreographed because I think he
Yes.
should win. But
It was so much fun, and I think she took a risk. And did it pay off? I don't really know because we were 1 point behind top of the leaderboard.
right.
And I
But
think had they stayed in, that would have given them that extra point,
I
or
don't
maybe
even
two.
know. I
Maybe
don't
two.
I don't even know though, because like they're not even bringing it up with the judging. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that point is coming off for that because there again, like he has some other minor technique things, but like
Yeah.
minor.
Maybe,
But like
maybe not.
I one thing I have to say though with Jason is I texted you this. I go, he reminds me of Derek when he dances because he has like the same facial expressions
He's
that
so animated.
Derek has when he dances. And like guys, if you haven't figured out, like Derek Huff to me is like top tier dancer. So like that's who I
What?
to everybody too. So
What? No. Ah.
yes.
Anyway, yes, the animated faces. I mean, it just makes it so much fun. He's just a joy to watch,
Mm-hmm.
and can't wait to see more.
Yes. Again, I want him to win.
I do too. I do too. All right, moving on to Lele and Brandon, who had another contemporary.
yes. Um, I texted you right off the bat because the very like first thing she did, like she hit a sickled foot. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
But in that defense, her upper body and her core strength is truly improving beyond belief.
So much.
So, as are some of her feet.
Yes.
Sometimes when she jumps into the lift, and then all of a sudden her feet like immediately floop. It's like, okay, I need that floop all
It's
the
like
time.
as soon as you lift from the ground, like
As
it
soon as your
comes
feet come
off.
off, it needs to
Yep.
right up. And you could totally see it. Like she would, like he lifted her, and her feet were like this, and all of a sudden she went like, oh no, I have to point my toes. So I
Yeah.
know he's talking to her about it. I know it's coming up. There's just
It's
so much
not
from head to
natural.
toe. It's not natural, and from head
Yeah.
to toe, you have to think what feels more natural. Being stronger up here and in up here feels natural for the most part. Here is tough, and the feet is tough.
And
So
sometimes the shoulders though, like you feel natural here, but the thing though is this isn't
they
always natural
tried.
because
Right.
these rise and you
Right.
have to keep them down. So that's also a challenge. And then you have to keep them back. So like
Yes.
that's a challenge too. So
It's totally different. And it's
yeah,
just what feels more normal in your body is what's going to improve quicker. So great improvements so far. She's another one. I'm really
yeah,
excited to see more and more from her. So
I would agree. Then we had Sochi and Vale.
with a Viennese waltz. And how
Mhm.
beautiful this was as a tribute to her quinceañera, which she didn't get to have
Loved
because
it.
she was auditioning for
She
Doctor Strange
she
and
looked
getting to
like a
be, oh
beautiful
my
princess.
gosh,
Like
princess. She was
the
such a princess.
dress costume, like they outdid themselves on this.
Yes.
Gorgeous. And I love that they let her have this moment.
It
It was
was so pretty and it was so fun. And, I would say really the only thing that I would say is just like finishing each line, especially like the arm and the leg lines, when she wasn't bending, because every bend was beautiful. Every arch was beautiful. But then there were those lines that would sometimes come up that were not fully completed. And also watching the broken wrist
yeah.
like they're arching out. Like the picture of them on Dancing with the Stars, I was like, oh, girl, her wrist is literally like this. I'm like, doesn't that hurt?
Yeah.
Me to
The
do
one
that.
I have to say though, Vale, and I out of the ones here, Vale, Artem,
You're looking at
and
training.
Pasha kind of too. I feel like, and I'm talking more about the male pros right now, not the female pros. They drill technique like
Yes, they do.
hardcore, specifically Vale and Artem to me. Gleb does too a little bit, but for me, like I always think Artem and Vale. And
Do you
like,
feel like it's a training thing? Do you think it's like a different country training thing,
well,
considering that both of them are not American?
Val came over to America at like a young age with Matt
I know, but he still was getting various lines of training.
from Ukraine. I
You know
don't,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't know because
It's
like
just a thought.
I've
You
it,
imagine we train differently in a lot of things than other countries do.
yeah. Well, it's hard too to say because like at the same time, like you look at Derek and I don't see Derek as one that always did technique, technique, technique.
Okay.
To me, Derek is more of a storyteller when he
Yes.
teaches. And he learned in London and like
Hmm.
they are all working from the same like
Just a thought.
competition pros. It's so
Yes.
funny because like the pros either come from like the world competition or center stage Utah. Like it's one of the two places that they are coming from for the majority of their pros. So um I don't know because like Sasha to me is more like a storyteller like Derek. Brandon is more like the storyteller.
Hmm.
So and like Sasha came from a different country too. Like so like I don't know, but
Just a thought. That's all.
it I think it depends honestly on your coach. So
Yeah.
like whoever their main ballroom teacher was. So
Right.
it's passed down from generation to generation. So it's a mix.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, so she does great. She's another one that's really gonna
She
be
could take
tough
it.
to beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's I'm impressed with her.
Yes. Me too. Me too.
Mauricio and Emma.
With another contemporary. I really I agree in the fact that I think it was his best dance in a lot of ways.
It
It
would
was beautiful.
his extension is actually getting better. Yeah.
Yes.
I will say you and I commented the last pose was just awkward.
It was terrible. Excuse my language, but I'm sorry. What was that? I was just like, what just happened?
When
I
they
don't, I
played,
don't understand.
yeah, it just the dance was actually really pretty. It
It
just
was.
felt awkward and it didn't flow. I don't know if that was like a mistake and they covered it. I don't know. It was just weird.
I told you, our two people that are getting all of the reps for dating, okay, Harry and Riley and Mauricio and Emma. And they both like took their dances this week and they both were like, ha, we're not dating, but maybe we are. I was just like, I don't know what I just watched. It was
The
interesting.
dance was pretty. It was nice,
It was very nice.
except for the last pose. And to me,
Although, did you see on Good Morning America, they did just come out. Mauricio came out and
yeah, they
actually
had like a
spoke
video and they
about it.
said that they're not dating. The thing
But
though is,
but anyway, but then seriously, then you're gonna end in that kind of pose? That's not helping your story. It was so awkward. I
the
seriously can't handle it.
last pose.
If you watch this dance, just don't watch the last like 10 seconds.
But
Just
the thing
stop
for me
it.
is anytime you have a performance or a dance, the last pose is what you remember. And that's what I took away from it. And it just
Me too. I was just done. I was like, I don't understand what I just watched. And it was beautiful. And like I shouldn't feel like that because it was beautiful. But I cannot get that.
pose, it's what you take away from it.
Yeah, it was terrible. Anyway, just skip the last like 5 seconds if you go back and watch the dance, and then you'll be fine.
Then Barry and Peta with a
And then Barry and
passo.
Peta with a beautiful passo that was strong and fun. And
So
yeah,
it was so good. And I love that he had a
a
great
night.
comeback. Yeah.
Yes, a night.
Um, but a setback is a way to set up for a comeback. Quoting, I don't know if that's the exact quote that Derek says, but he says it all the time.
So
But but uh it was so good. He had confidence. My one thing though that just bugs me, and I've talked about it before, is PETA just counts so out loud and it takes me as an audience member out of it. And I know um Cheryl Burke on her podcast also talked about that a little bit as well. Um and like I'm in agreement with her. Like I really wish that like she'd like do it through her teeth or something or have like a signal system. I don't know. Again, like we talked, maybe they try it, but it just takes me out of the mix.
honestly, I've stopped watching her face just so that I don't get sucked in
Mm-hmm.
to watching. So I've just been really trying to like focus on him or her
But if you
body,
notice,
right?
as soon as she starts to count and like gets into that mode, he like
Changes.
changes because then he's like focused on her and not the story.
Because then I think he's a little more like, oh, okay, was I off? Is that why she's doing
Mhm.
that again?
Well, there was a tiny like misstep that he like stepped like one other foot and then like
Right.
so she counted on it where it'd be interesting like I don't know if there's a better way to hide it, but
Yeah, I agree. I
yeah.
agree. I guess we'll see what next week brings, being Halloween,
Although
which
we
I
do have
love.
to talk about
Yes, I know we have to talk about it. I don't wanna. No, I'm totally kidding. I really do because it was so amazing. I made Brian watch it because I was like, you have to watch this.
so first of all, Len Goodman is a legend in ballroom, incredible dancer, passed away last year after retiring, and which was hard on everybody. And when I say last year, not like 22, like it was this year, but I look at it within the school year.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, wasn't that this year? Right, because you're
Yeah,
a teacher, your mind is different.
I know. Like to me, the beginning of the year is September.
Yeah, no. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, go ahead.
It was April, I believe.
Was it April?
Yeah, from cancer.
Yes, it was April 22nd.
Yeah. So it took us kind of all by surprise. And I'm so glad that they honored him. And I will say Vale and Jenna, I think, deserve an Emmy because that dance was stunning,
It was superb. It was perfect.
emotional, and I'm getting tears back in my eyes just right now. It was awesome.
It really was. I mean, it's worth the almost 8 minute segment to watch all of the dancers talk about their connection to Len, or not all of them, but the ones that were really, really, really connected to him through their early dance careers, and then as they became professional dancers and then pros, and to just watch some of their reactions, you really got to feel a different side to what and who Len was.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was very well done. And like I said, Jenna and Val, kudos to them. They really did it right.
Yeah. The one thing I know there's some drama with other pros on who was in the dance, not. The one thing I do wish I saw Kristen Burt make this suggestion that the lower level they should have invited past dancers, even if they weren't in the number, and past contestants. So the whole bottom of the ballroom, like the floor level, were people that were touched by Len. I think that would have been a really cool thing for them to do. But the one thing that I did, and I don't know if a lot of people recognized, his wife was in the ballroom and they showed her there. So, but like they didn't put like a name tag on it. So I don't know if everyone realized that, but that was really special.
Definitely. And I think that also added to a lot of the high emotions that the dancers were feeling, that our other judges were feeling. And I mean, we have to
Bruno.
remember they were with him from the beginning. I mean, we've truly been on this journey with him
And
since
Bruno
season one.
specifically, because not only did he just do Dancing with the Stars with him, he also did Strictly Come Dancing in London. So Bruno crying,
Will make you tear.
it's making me cry thinking about it.
A
So
lot.
yeah.
It was definitely a lot. And it was really, truly beautiful. If you're a fan of Dancing with the Stars, this is something that you must watch. It's all over online, but it's well worth the like 8 minutes to
Yeah.
watch it. Truly, truly, truly beautiful. Make sure you have tissues.
Even the interviews ahead of time were wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of really good respect,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. So I feel like I have to get up and show you what is behind me, since Courtney very specifically
Well,
needed
so
to know what
okay,
this
but
is.
before we started this interview, Alicia was not sitting directly in front of him. Like she was
He
like
was just
over,
here.
and he's just like, yeah, she was like this, and he's like sitting right there, and I'm like, what is behind you?
Although I think he's been in other videos too. You just haven't noticed him.
Maybe I
So,
just haven't noticed it. It was just like a direct view on him.
so as you can see, I'm ready for Halloween.
You should
Yes.
take us outside and show you.
No, I can't take you all the way outside, but there's a lot of
Guys,
stuff.
her outside, like her front yard, like if you are like one of those people that love decorations, Alicia's house is like beyond.
Yeah,
He even had like a
20,
little.
25-foot skeletons, two 12-foot mummies, a ship deck, tons of skeleton animals of all sorts. And
I got a
yeah.
wreath and a pumpkin.
Okay, but we didn't have a lot of stuff before we moved into a house that's on a corner lot. So now we have a whole side of the house and the front of the house that we had to decorate. So
Wreath and a pumpkin. That's my limit right there, guys.
it's a lot. But anyway, I found this guy at a garage sale this year, and he's a lot of fun. So he stays in my house and creeps people out. Not me, but people that come into my house.
I love it.
So anyway, as you can see, I'm ready for Halloween week next week.
You ready?
So cannot wait.
So, guys, we're excited and we will see you next week. Have a safe and happy Halloween.
Yes, be safe, everyone.